Alrighty, guys, it is 3:30. It is Friday, March 20th, and oh boy, we have a sell-off. So as we talked about in our last update, we were getting into this. We were in the key area of support, right in this area, the 6610s. And as you can see, they finally blew through 66. Well, the 60 to cat 16 earlier. It was the 65, sorry, 65.85. They were trading in this range below it, and they weren't quite going in it. We're just going sideways. And well, then the next leg was going to be down, right? And of course it was. So they has taken out the lows there, right here at that key 65.50 level, 30 to 50 key support area, and unless you're going to get the really bad correction happening. So we're in a pretty good risk-off mode. We are down here at this lower support area. As I said this morning, we started off with pretty weak overnight. We didn't get much strength to sell against. We were looking for, we were leaning towards the short side. Now, after they took out the 6610, that's where we stayed on the short side. And as you can see, we just ended up in this twisting in the wind for quite a bit of time before that last leg started kicking in. And we're down there. We are down there, and it looks pretty gnarly. So I haven't put on any trades since then, since this morning. Uh, I'll show you those in a bit, but right now we got into that 2 o'clock hour, and then you can see if I crunch this a little bit, we ended up in this pretty crazy this little area of just congestion for the longest time, back and forth, and a little I moved to take it higher, and that was opportunities to get short for rotations down. If you wanted to buy this lower end of the channel, you can certainly do that. There are plenty of times to trade with what I worked on there, but trading in this range would have worked for a bit. And but the fact that they haven't been able to get up above the mean or nothing, in the last update, in that 130 update, we talked about the next leg likely being to the downside, and yeah, it turned out to be exactly that. Headed lower, and we are just drifting lower. No attempts to take it higher. I haven't really traded this. I'm kind of watching it. I've been busy doing other stuff late on the Friday. It's hard to re-engage, but it's definitely been tradable. So I mean, trying to find a spot to get short and then sit in that trade. It hasn't been us crashing down. It's been slowly orderly sell off to the downside, and we're down in these lower areas. Nasdaq too, way down here at the 24,000 level right now. And if you look at the Nasdaq's capital flow chart, we are down here flirting. We are taking out that 24,170 area. We're down here flirting with areas which could get pretty gnarly. So I think we have a big gap here down here, and they can take it down to the 23.5s pretty easily. So it doesn't look good going into the weekend for sure. So risk off, dynamic going on. It's we're only 3 weeks into this. The market is just acting like it is. Risk off and be scared. We're going to take everything off the table and just not do anything. So, and it's definitely heading lower. So getting short and for late in the day moves definitely workable. But I had one trade early on. I got shaken out of that trade, and then in that area of congestion, I didn't do anything. I was just kind of watching it. I said, okay, it's just sloppy, shitty trading. I did take a couple of bond trades. So bond market has been nothing but spectacular today. The problem was I got on the wrong side of it in the morning. So in the morning we said we were leaning short on the bonds, and we were looking at the move to the down, looking to sell strength, looking to buy weakness with a bit of caution. But they ran it pretty good down here into support at the 1320s, and they stalled there. Pretty great setup. And you're at the support area. You have that kind of a setup going. You kind of had to take that trade. Turned out that was just that was a little quick pause, and then look at that move to the downside. Now I keep my 5 tick stop on the bonds, and I don't touch it. And there was no shot after they start taking that lower to stretch that trade anyway. And then I got got in on the short trade a little bit later, towards the end of the run. But I mean, I figured like, man, there may be a little bit left in it. I managed to get the 5 tick trade out of that, so I'm one loser, then one winner, and I'm back to zero. And so 2 trades flat on that one. But look at that move to the downside. Yields definitely spiking at this point. The price is way down. They're taking out the 113s. They're down here at the 112s. So yeah, bond market is signaling that it's not happy. So they're down here taking out this big ledge. They're heading down to test the 111s, I think. So expect higher yields, expect more volatility, unless we get something really good come out of that Middle East thing. But I'm thinking there's going to be a couple more weeks of risk off kind of behavior or nervousness before they actually get something in order there. It's just going to take a while, I guess, to open that straight or get everything prepared for it. But I don't think they're sitting and waiting for it to just happen by itself. I think they're hammering these guys. Eventually, we're going to see those guys crumble, I would think. They just have to protect themselves from these guys taking pot shots, you know. They can just shoot one missile and then be successful. So they have to, it's a lot of work to be done to clean that up. But anyway, we're in that spot right now. And the market is definitely on the way down. So we are heading lower, risk off, risk off, risk off. So we'll see. I'm not trading this at the very end like this. It feels very much like you want to, but getting into that last 20 minutes on a Friday, you're probably not going to do it. But it could get ugly. I mean, who knows how far they're going to take this. So risk off, starting from the short side, going into the overnight. For sure, that's what's going to be happening. It's just hard to say how far they're going to take it before we end up in that close. So, and if they snap back a bit, they could certainly happen. Have a late last minute little snapback, but I don't think that's in the cards in any big way. So, not going to count on that. So, starting off from the short side, looking to sell strength. Not really any forecast for the overnight. It's too much volatility. This feels very much overdone, but it's hard to say how far they're going to. It can get crazier before it gets better, but that way. So right now they're kind of falling off an edge, as you can see. Big move to the downside. I'm at 65.30s. So pretty crazy stuff going on. So anyway, we'll leave it there. So we'll wrap it there for now. Starting from the short side, going into the overnight. Let's see how crazy it can get. If they, for some reason, snap it all the way back here above the 65.85, maybe start range bound, but I doubt that's going to happen. They're definitely a big move to the downside of what's going on right now. So starting off from the short side, let's see how bad it's going to get. Hopefully you did a bit better than myself, but let's say I was sidetracked in the bond trades this morning, so we managed to get that back to zero. So pretty much a scratch day for myself. And if I'd paid more attention around the 2 o'clock hour, I may have tried a short trade, but at this point, it feels very much like you're chasing it. You know, see, getting short down here at the very end. It's like, yeah, you never know when they're going to snap a little bit back. So no point of being aggressive on that one at all. All right, guys, we'll wrap it there. I'll see you back on Monday, and we'll see how bad this is going to get before it actually closes. So leave it there, good. And I'll see you. You have a great weekend, and I'll see you back on Monday again later.